Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Council of Fans Live. And I think it's for the first time in about 4 to 5 months, as you can see Ken gleefully smiling in the corner, that it's the first time that actually me talking to Ken, Nikki, and Penguin have all together on a panel like this for a while. Yeah, it's good to be back. How are you, Ken?
Yeah, it's as you said, it's very good to all be back. So that's very nice. We haven't been like this for a long time.
We also have talked to you. Oh, my
Feeling
friend.
pretty good. Glad to be
Good,
here.
good, good, good. Also, we
Yeah.
have Nikki.
Hi, Govannen.
Perfect, perfect. And finally, we have Penguin.
Sup?
Yes, so yeah, I think the video is, or the stream is mostly self-explanatory because we are going to be discussing who Halbrand is. So Halbrand is, of course, Charlie Vickers, and I think first thing we're going to do is as Kyle's going to, yeah, who is Halbrand is the main thing. So firstly, we're going to go through the Twitter thread of the first bit we released about Halbrand. So I'll be putting that up any second now. Nobody in. Yeah, okay. So I think it's a good start with talking to Nikki. So what we first know is that Galadriel will be in Numenor for 3 episodes with Charlie Vickers. So Eric is the code name for Halbrand. So just for clarification. So yeah, we've got Halbrand in Numenor. Yeah, thoughts on that festival with Galadriel as well? Talkative.
I guess it's kind of an interesting dynamic because I don't really know. He looks a lot like Aragorn, so maybe he'll be a little bit like that, kind of like the Ranger, which also kind of looks a little bit like
Yeah.
Ismael Cruz Cordova's character, who's playing an elf.
Interesting. Yeah.
Definitely a really interesting dynamic is going to be if there's any like romance, which uh, some people think there is. I don't really think there's plenty of evidence for that. Granted, I haven't like really looked at the trailer in a while, so I'd have to look at that again. Um, yeah, that's all.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. And I think the main thing there is their relationship. But firstly, Nikki, we're going to be seeing Galadriel and this mysterious Halbrand character in Numenor. That of course this didn't happen. Tolkien wrote about this, but is this an interesting way Amazon to do this?
Honestly, I have no idea what their plan is for that part. I mean, we all know all of our characters probably did a lot more than what's written in the stories because it doesn't really cover their full lifespan of activities, sure. Um,
Could cover his though, since he's immortal.
yeah.
Maybe not all of it, but I guess a more significant portion.
No, I mean in the books. Like the books aren't really like they're not describing every
yeah,
second of her
yeah,
story and her life.
yeah.
So, I mean, I've got no real comment about what I think they're doing, but I'm definitely interested in seeing it because I'm sure there's a reason she's there, and I'm sure it's not just because they wanted her to be there. There's some purpose for this that will probably lead into something else.
And
And the fact that she's with him, I don't know, maybe we'll see an early love story. Maybe it's um so maybe he teaches her something. Maybe he's a bad guy. Maybe I don't know.
making.
He's
What?
probably gonna be some sort of like an anti-hero,
Yeah, I'm joking.
kind of like edgy
Yeah.
but still good and struggling with his past. Something that we
I
haven't
think
seen.
so, yeah.
Yeah. But I think in the next one that we got down is that he's actually a leader of men.
Yeah,
But
he is.
and that's interesting to talk about his backstory. But
Is he
okay,
like
now
a
this
reluctant leader or
we have no clue except that
He's a
apparently
fugitive, it says
a
in the
fugitive.
Variety Fair stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with reluctant leader? It kind of
Yeah.
sounds on par.
And
Sounds,
then
yeah. I'm gonna go with that too, I think.
the next part was that she will be captured along wait, not she. So Halbrand will be captured and brought to Queen Miriel with Galadriel And of course, after the fighting 5 of Gods, that was a separate thing. So yeah. So now, Penguin, you haven't spoken yet. So we're getting Queen Miriel, Halbrand, Pharazôn, and Galadriel Lordly in one room.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like what's going to happen? I don't know. Pharazôn's going to get some gold. Miriel's going to probably drown in a flood somehow. Yeah. Sorry, spoilers. Okay. So for who Halbrand is, I don't know. But looking at those pictures, we kind of have a definite Aragorn vibe from him. So you can go two ways from that. You can basically recreate the wheel and say, well, let's give the fans an Aragorn type character, or you can establish him and people think, oh, he's going to be another Aragorn before you take that character in an unexpected direction. I mean, he's a leader of men. He is fleeing from something. Kind of seems a little bit of the inverse of the Aragorn trope. I don't know. Let's go. I'm going to go on a limb and say he ends up being one of the Nazgul. Maybe even the Lord of the Nazgul.
And I think we'll be getting onto that in a
So,
second,
yeah.
because as we go on to the next set of tweets, I'm sure Carl will be doing that next second, and everyone on the panel as well. We go on to the next one. So this is where it gets a bit more interesting, because we're talking about now they're both, so Galadriel and Halbrand are on a shipwreck together, and I think, of course, spoiler alerts. We're gonna go to the bottom one. Oh, not well. Actually, it's not on there. But the one we're going to go to is the second one. So a tense introduction follows. Verbal standoff between Galadriel, Miriel, and Pharazôn, where Galadriel proclaims her lineage. It's Halbrand who tries to act as the conciliatory one and keeps Galadriel's rage in check. Do you think, we're starting to maybe see that a Halbrand and a Pharazôn relationship here? Not in that way, but
Be possibly, especially like, we have Amazon had identified the one of those pictures as Halbrand. It's the one with the hilt that looks like a horse, and that looks very Rohan-like. But at the same time, we believe it's Numenorian cavalry. So obviously, he gets, whether he's from Numenor, which I don't think he is, probably Middle-earth native. He gets kitted up in Numenor, so obviously things ultimately go his way there. Like, he's not shunned. So yeah, sure.
Yeah, and then the next one's actually quite an interesting one. In fact, they're both marched off to their quarters or jail, unconfirmed which one, by guards. But during this sequence, and okay, someone said in chat, Ken has new headphones and all is well in the world. Ken,
Yes.
you have given the viewers quite a pleasure today. So, thank you, good sir. But the next bit is that they're both then marched off to their quarters or jail, during which time Halbrand secretly gets a dagger given to him from Elendil. So, I think this is quite interesting because Nikki, are we maybe starting to see maybe a friendship between the Numenorians and Halbrand, because Elendil is literally about to be given taken to jail, but Elendil's secretly given this dagger to Halbrand.
Yeah.
And stop typing. Yeah.
Or
And
mute.
stop typing. Mute. Go on.
I don't. Honestly, I haven't really had the time or the energy or the bother to even look into who he is or who he might be or read about what he's doing or why he's there or anything, because to me this is not important. But I mean, I'm sure he's going to be a great character. He's definitely, if Elendil is giving him a knife, then yes, he's going to be important to the Numenorians, or at least to Elendil to some extent. And it also maybe hints that maybe potentially Elendil knows who he is, whereas others don't. So perhaps he's going to be a key person in maybe fighting for, what is it, the faithful against the Kingsmen, if they're doing that plot. Or he's gonna help Galadriel break out of jail and get back to Middle Earth. I don't know, but it's obviously a sign that he's supposed to do something there, and that some very powerful people in Numenor know who he is or like him. So
Okay,
yeah.
and then now, Nikki, you're probably wondering, going through all these tweets and so far, yeah, it just seems like, just a character. So this, just, like a normal one, is an invented one, but this is where it becomes interesting. So, of course, it's not on screen. Kai, you don't need to do anything for this one, but the big shocking reveal is that during the shipwreck where Galadriel and Halbrand first meet, Halbrand potentially causes the shipwreck, and he either does that, or is either one of these, and then
Don't drink and sail, people.
and he only saves Galadriel and leaves everyone else left to die. So this, I talk to, we've got it twisted on its head now. This is the I'm not sure the best way to put it, but like a 50-50 type character we're playing with right now.
Nice.
You not know that beforehand?
No, I actually no, I didn't. So
Yeah, what does that add?
well, a very interesting dynamic for sure, his character's I did not hear the question. Could you repeat it again?
I'm just saying, what do you think of it then, that he is now potentially causing the shipwreck and killing a lot of people out at sea?
Probably kind of goes with his kind of what we know of his character so far, which is that he's maybe like a reluctant leader, has like a shady past. Is that going to be a shady past also? Do we know that? Or is that like not?
All we know is that we don't know where he's from in Middle Earth. The only thing we know is that when they meet, apparently, Halbrand either causes the shipwreck, so kills a lot of
Okay.
people, or
Okay.
does that and only saves Galadriel, still killing a lot of people.
Okay,
So
so
yeah.
it's not in his past. I wonder, could that also be like King's men he's killing? Because that would be a pretty positive thing.
Yeah, I think that is an interesting point. It literally
I think
depends who.
that's definitely the most likely, because otherwise, like, they're being arrested, and there's no reason they'd be arrested by the faithful. At least not that I can think of. Especially
That
because
Yeah.
is
Elendil does later on give him a knife, so it's got to be the King's men. So
that is a good point.
that's
Would you
a
would you
pretty
want
interesting thing, really.
yeah would you
It
want
could be
those
that
lines
he's.
to be
Sorry,
What
you
was
go,
that?
Chen.
would you want those lines to be so sharply kind of drawn? Like I would imagine even the faithful to be, a little bit blunt at least. Like, these are two stowaways on a ship. You wouldn't want it to all be very nice and kind of rosy, even if it's quote unquote the faithful as opposed to the Kingsmen. I don't know. It's just
I just think
yeah.
having him kill a bunch of faithful at the beginning kind of would set him up against Elendil and, like all the good forces, because that just sounds a little bit off. It's like Luke Skywalker going to Tatooine, wherever, shooting up a bunch of Ewoks, and then also fighting the Empire. It's kind of
Like Lawrence
it's
of Arabia,
They
like
were
shooting
animals, and I
a
slaughtered
person
them
dead.
like
Yeah.
animals.
probably tastes good. You know what?
I mean, isn't there like a picture in the trailer where someone sees Galadriel's heirs? Could that be like they are finding Galadriel as a stowaway, realize she's an elf, and they are angry with the elves and they want to kill her, and then he ends up causing the thing and making everyone else die because they are the bad guys, and then saving her?
I don't think. I think it's after. The way I see it reconstructed kind of from the trailer is there's a shipwreck. Whether Halbrand causes it or not, we don't know. And then he's on this little bit of a raft there. It's really just a piece of wreckage from the ship, I presume. And she's like, I guess, gets lodged into the water, but being an elf, manages to get on the raft. And he's like, how did you do that? Wait a minute. And then he, sees the ear and like, oh, you're an elf. Okay. I think it's
Mm,
him doing the ear revealing thing.
yeah, and I
Maybe
think
Galadriel saves him.
There's a
maybe
shot of him on the raft without her on it, so I think he's on it, and then she kind of gets on it afterwards.
if
That's
someone's
what, yeah.
so
Well,
the
It's
chat.
weird to
I'm
see.
just
Go ahead.
well, I'm gonna say the rumors of him somehow causing the shipwreck. I mean, that just seems bonkers to me. If
Yeah.
you're on an airplane, you think, okay, am I going to crash this and somehow survive? No, if you're on a boat in the middle of the ocean, I mean, potentially causing the boat to sink is just, I don't know, it just seems kind of dumb. So I'm not sure I buy
But if
that.
you're a captive on that boat, probably going to get sacrificed on some really weird pagan island, then that might also change your perspective.
Or
Or it
third,
could just be negligence. It doesn't necessarily need to be an intentional, I'm gonna sink this ship.
Failing and
assuming
drinking,
it's not the King's Men, that's probably the most likely scenario.
but now, I think the fourth scenario is that I think what a lot of the viewers think recently is around some yeah. First of all, going through some of the chat, someone said that is Gandalf has actually put the Silmarils on Shadowfax, and that they have time traveled back, and they've put Aragorn there.
You know what? That based on everything we've heard from Amazon, I wouldn't put that outside the realm of possibility.
You know what? I
I think
agree. At
another,
this point.
yeah, I think another one is Ulmo caused a wave.
Sorry, buddy. They don't have the
Yeah.
rights to Olmo, so that's out of the. That's not going to happen.
Yeah,
Well,
that's not good.
that's what they say. They also technically don't have the rights to like anything in Numenor yet. They still have like a pretty good description of it on their map. So
Yeah, absolutely. That's very
I think it was
perplexing.
the shape. Yeah, the shape of
The
Numenor.
shape, but also the names and positions of many of the settlements. It's
my
not
best
really
guess
something
is
you get.
that every single time they have to include something
Yes.
in the show from the books, it's like a specific concession from the Tolkien estate, which
Yes.
obviously knowing Simon Tolkien, I guess he's probably just going to greenlight everything. I'm not saying this as a bad thing. He's giving access to things in the book, definitely
No,
not bad, but he's probably just going to say yes to most of it.
that's actually, I was just thinking because I think you're right, and there is an example of this. The 1981 radio adaptation of Lord of the Rings, Brian Sibley wanted a little piece from Unfinished Tales, and so he called up Christopher Tolkien. He says, "Can I use it?" And Christopher was like, "Okay, yeah, sure."
Hmm. It's a shame that I don't think
Yeah.
maybe the relationship between Amazon and Tolkien Estate maybe aren't as easy as it was back then. Imagine. Well, I think
And
yeah.
Simon
Go ahead.
Tolkien's also recorded as saying, and for those of you who don't know, he's the one who heads the Tolkien estate, I believe, and he's been
There are
recorded as
like a
saying,
couple of them, but yeah.
yeah, the films and stuff like that works best when they're like basically independent of the books they're being made off of. So, like The Lord of the Rings, Christopher Tolkien said that he didn't like it because it was made for like 16 to 25-year-olds or something like that. It was like
Yeah,
too action
15 to
packed and stuff like
25.
that. Simon Tolkien disagreed. He thought it was good just looking at it as it was. Whereas Christopher Tolkien looked at the books and then the movies and said they like eviscerated all the themes and stuff like that. So
Yes, he
he's
also didn't
probably
like.
going to be much more lenient with like I don't know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
shoving the entire second age into just the time span of like 100 years or whatever.
Yeah, and I
What
think
much less, but yeah.
I think that is an interesting point, and we'll probably have like do a whole separate episode on that. But
Yes.
I think as of right now, I can't be moving on to the theories of what people have thought. Sir and Penguin, I think I think you're the best here at explaining stuff in a quite eloquent way. So I think the main theory by the viewers so far is that Halbrand is or not is but will become the Witch King. So I think it looks like the main one right now. You think that's a possibility?
I mean, I said that, didn't I?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's definitely a possibility among many.
Yeah, it's possible. I wouldn't be shocked if I saw that. Yeah, we're like fine, you know.
And
I think the possibility is still kind of low, especially because, in my opinion, he's just like a random dude from Middle Earth. So there's really no reason Sauron would want to give him a ring
There's no reason.
specifically.
Yeah,
Granted, I guess
Mhm.
he could have like a kind of big role in Middle Earth, but still, I feel like just giving a ring to a Númenórean noble would just be a much better idea, unless you're saying that maybe Halbrand somehow starts threatening Sauron, and then later Sauron's like, "Hey, you're threatening me. Here's this ring. We can have peace and stuff." Which to me just sounds a little bit off because why would a random dude from Middle Earth, actually threaten Sauron? He wouldn't.
Oh, back in the very fun early days when the whole setting was announced, one of the things I thought would be fun would be to show how the immortals, such as elves and Sauron, perceive time by having Sauron be willing to give the ring out to giving a ring out to a peasant because he knew that they could use that ring to achieve power, fame, fortune, glory, and attract a large following behind them before they completely are subsumed by that ring and the will of Sauron. So, I mean, if you're an immortal person, what is 100, 200 years of watching and waiting for that ring bearer to, achieve all that power before you bring them into your fold? And imagine, someone gets a magic ring. They say, "Hey, I got this magic ring from this immortal demigod." You say, "Yeah, whatever." Well, 50 years later, that person looks exactly like they did. They haven't aged a day, and they're showing other signs of power. And I mean, that person will attract a little bit of a following. And then then it's not hard to see that becoming a people also following that guy because they want to achieve the favor of Sauron or whoever is giving out these magic rings so they can be immortal too. And boom, before you know it, you have a religion centered around Sauron giving out rings and so forth. But you should remember this. I put that theory out there, just kind of like speculation. People liked it, but it shows how an immortal person could bide his time and wait for the exact moment. You sow the seed, you wait to reap the harvest. Of course, Amazon is probably not going to do that. They don't want to have a revolving door of human characters and all that good stuff. So, yeah, I guess it doesn't make sense to have Sauron give out a ring to just some random guy in this context.
Then just maybe for that reason, the second option that people are thinking, well, including me for quite a while, and maybe still do, is that maybe Halbrand is in fact Sauron. And I think, so yeah, this was the next thing, and it's really around the fact that because the problem with this time period is, and it's really got to do with time compression. Are we seeing maybe Sauron, because we're starting before the Forging of the Rings even happens yet, but at the same time Isildur's alive. So is he going to be in Eregion? Is he going to be in Númenor? Like, where's Sauron going to be? And I was thinking then maybe how they're going to set it up potentially. Maybe Halbrand is Sauron. He goes to Númenor with Galadriel, befriends Galadriel, sees what the Númenorians is like, and then just goes back to Middle Earth, sees that, and goes forges rings. Well, that happens, and then by the time the Númenorians come to Middle Earth, they find out Halbrand is Sauron all along. And yes, it sounds batshit crazy, and I do understand that. But I think with Amazon, I think we're in the realm of possibility by now. I think so. And Nikki, I think it's best to say it from an outside perspective. What happens if, like, Halbrand is secretly Sauron, gets the befriends and basically deceives Galadriel, goes to Númenor in this concept early on, understands what's happening in Númenor, but their military is like this, and that, and then goes back to Middle Earth now having this knowledge. that crazy or is it quite exciting?
I don't know. What then happens to Meteor Man? Who is he now? I don't
Meteor
know.
Man still could be
Please
Sauron.
don't be Gandalf.
Yeah.
Yes.
If it's Gandalf,
Well,
Please don't be
um,
Gandalf.
I mean, it would be really weird in a way. Because
Well,
he's already been through. He was in the first stage as well. Like he's already been through
Yeah.
being evil, for a while, and then he's supposed to act like this like nice guy. And I know that he did fool people to forging rings and everything, but being on a raft with Galadriel, saving her life, bringing her to Numenor, going to Numenor, doing whatever else, getting arrested, accepting all of this, it would have to be part of some weird propaganda thing that doesn't make any sense because he is quite powerful. He doesn't really need to do that. So
Yeah.
it would be
Yeah, okay.
really an unnecessary storyline. I mean, if they want to do that, they would have to do it in a way that makes sense to the actual story, and to who he is and what he becomes, and there has to be a reason for him to be there that actually makes sense. Then it could work. Otherwise, it would just be weird. But I do think that he is someone he could be some other bad guy who has added purpose to
And
be the instigator of the king. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. There could be something else. He could be. I don't know. But
Mhm.
The thing
yeah,
that, the thing
he
that
doesn't have
works
to be
for
Sauron
me,
to be evil.
but the thing that works for me about him being Sauron, not that I think that he necessarily is, but two things about it kind of work. One is that he goes to Numenor and kind of like, this would be a great place to work at human sacrifice. Cool. Noted. The other one is that
House tour.
Galadriel is going to Numenor because she suspects Sauron is back. It would be great dramatic irony if the person that she goes with to Numenor had been Sauron under her nose the entire time. It would make it look a bit doofus, but at the same time, it's great dramatic irony.
Mhm.
well, it kind of
So,
reeks of the that kind of feels like it falls into the justice plan trope where you've got this bad guy running this horrendously complicated plan that just happens to work to perfection. That almost depends on random chance, you know? And honestly, I kind of hate that. But, you know, ultimately, suppose he does go to Numenor with Galadriel. Well, I mean, you're kind of so far out there that eventually you're kind of making a Middle Earth in name only because you're kind of ignoring what we have, even what little there is in the appendices, and just using just Middle Earth names: Galadriel, Sauron, Numenor, and so forth. Even though it really has nothing to do with the actual setting you're basing this in.
Yeah, I don't mind those things. I mind the changes that they make. The changes come across as cloying. So hobbits, it's not my issue is not that it's Middle Earth by name only. My issue with it is cloying. The same with Meteor Man possibly being Gandalf. Oh, kill me now.
I don't think that's going to be Gandalf. I think they're teasing
Yeah,
Gandalf.
I
Kind
don't
of
think
like,
it's Gandalf.
you know,
There's-
you've got
there's no way.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I agree.
I never got to share my thoughts on the teaser, but I feel like as far as the teaser trailer went, that was the only thing they teased, the possibility of
Yeah.
Gandalf.
I think it was the main thing of the trailer, as we've said in the videos multiple times. This, like, I think it's even the thumbnail of the trailer. Literally, you have Galadriel, you have like that lovely, beautiful Linden shot. You've got the Numenor establishing shot, but they're literally a thumbnail for all their
Thumbnail is
marketing.
the closing
is.
shot, yeah.
And also, I think Nikki, a lot of people are agreeing with what you've said as well around it not being Sauron and why it doesn't make sense. Also, Varking, if you do want to put a dwarven character that Halbrand could be. Actually, what have I just said? I said a dwarven character that Halbrand could be. Yeah, a dwarven character that Meteor Man can be. But
I think you already said
Crowdell-
that during the second.
Yeah, but during the second, yeah.
I like the idea.
He's kind of tall.
And he's
But-
not old too, which means he shouldn't be Gandalf. But then again, Amazon isn't exactly staying that true to the book. So.
I think the motions past that is not Gandalf, Ken, as of right now. You're in the
Yeah,
minority.
I'm all for it. I mean, I
But
just worried.
I don't know. Back to Halbrand, could he potentially be like, I don't know, some form of human who has been exiled for some reason from Numenor? No, not from Numenor, from Middle Earth. Or he is someone who came from Numenor, went to Middle Earth to do something. Maybe get Galadriel, maybe say something about, hey, Sauron is here and he's crazy and he's making Numenor crazy. Can you help us? I don't know. Maybe he came from Numenor, went over to Middle Earth, came back, or maybe he got exiled from Middle Earth and then went to Numenor with Galadriel, or maybe he's a king who got thrown by someone and then he has the ring and then he gets sent over or travels over to, I don't know. There are so many options.
Perhaps he's a
That's
king
fugitive.
of witches, and he's trying to flee from them. He's got 99 problems, of witches ain't one.
Which is
Perhaps.
bonkers.
I'm
think.
sorry, I thought that was funnier in my head.
Yeah.
Sexy
So is
Sauron
my
is
hope.
always a win. Yes, I agree.
And so I think maybe Nikki adding on to that, maybe because he did get exiled and now he hates the native men of Middle Earth. Maybe he's got a certain agenda, like
I wouldn't
some
say he
other
hates the
species as
native
well.
men, but maybe he was being taken somewhere. You know how, like in some fantasy movies, they have like slaves and they take them somewhere to either make them walk the plank like pirates do, or to exile them to somewhere else, and then he decides to just commandeer the boat along with Galadriel, and they decide to go to Numenor instead. I don't know, maybe they had a different plan. Maybe they were going up the coast to take them somewhere as prisoners or something.
It seems like from the auditions, it seems like they're both kind of stowing away on a Numenorian ship. That's the way
I
that
think
it kind
they
of
get
looks.
saved by the Numenorians is the thing, so that's quite interesting. And one thing I actually want to do, which I found quite funny, not funny, but Kyle, could you? I know it might be annoying, but could you go to the last of the 6 of the screenshots I sent of viewers? So of course we asked you guys for your own opinions as to who Halbrand could be, and there's actually quite a really interesting one. It's one by Martin. I think it's actually Nikki, maybe Nikki's friend, Martin Skjot. I think that's a Danish name. Okay, so he says it looks like Halbrand is sitting in a forgery of some kind, potentially indicating that he himself is a smith. And who is that eventually forged the One Ring? So yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
the One Ring. Okay.
Yeah, that could happen. Or he could have forged the 9 rings for the men. I mean, I don't know. He is some, yeah.
And I think,
and then he stole them all, and then he's taking them to Numenor.
Possibly.
Oh, I don't think so.
I think actually another thing someone's mentioned in chat about very proto Rohan armor. So could we get the bit of Eomer up? So I know, Ken, you don't necessarily think this, but I think you have you have like a good case. You can describe it properly. So yeah, what's the possibilities of linking this proto Rohan thing to Halbrand?
Yeah, like I said, we actually think this is Numenorian armor, actually.
Yeah.
Even though it looks very Rohan. But I also think someone spotted what looks like Halbrand sporting that armor in that shot of the Elizabeth the Golden Age shot, the shot of Galadriel galloping on the horse. So someone spotted a glimpse of what looks like Halbrand in that shot, presumably back in Middle-earth later on. And so you could play it in a way that he gets the stuff from Numenor, goes back to Middle-earth, and that's why, kids, boys and girls, 3,000 years later, we get, Bernard Hill riding on a horse. I mean, it's it's a bit like crossing the I's and the T's a bit much, but
maybe not too much. Oh, here's like not a gag, but oh yeah, Rohan. Oh yeah, this and that. And also, Varky makes a good point. Could he have the skills to forge such a ring? I think what Tolkien was continually mentioned earlier, that this is maybe just a simple man from Middle Earth. How could he acquire such skills? So yeah, I think that's really interesting.
Really,
And
I
think
really
actually-
think that's just him in Numenor after they get there.
yeah.
I'm not sure
And
that room is
He's
necessarily indicative of who he is.
He's
Yeah.
just sitting there smoldering for the ladies.
Huh.
Yeah.
I've
Well,
seen a lot of
that wasn't
sexy
actually a
Halbrand.
screenshot, was it? Though it was like it was their editorial. It's like
Yeah.
Vogue came to Middle Earth and said, "Here, post. We're doing an editorial to show off Middle Earth clothes, fashion
Oh,
trends."
yeah,
I
because
mean,
people thought it was a shirt.
could the
Yeah.
battle have happened beforehand, and then they lost some battle, and then they were escaping with the
No, I don't
Numenorians
think.
away?
No, I don't. No, because I think there's no battle until. Should be. I'm not sure how to phrase this, but they don't think orcs are back. So until like later in the season. So yeah,
Makes sense.
but no, without knowing that, I think that's still a really good, interesting. I think Nikki, you've been on the board today with a lot of these theories. I have to say. So
Oh, that's
uh,
good, because I had
yeah.
nothing to say when we first started. I was like, I don't know,
I think
I
that's
don't
the
care.
good thing. When reacting to all this news, you get to, formulate fresh ideas. And talking about that, fresh ideas from the viewers. So, Carl, could you put up the one of the rings of the men holding the ring and that specific man? So someone said, of course, the likelihood of this being is so tiny, but so the prologue scene in the Fellowship of the Ring, you have the 9 men doomed to die, and they're holding up a ring. So someone said, "Carbon checking, is it up?" Yep. So yeah, they think that this man looks a bit like Halbrand. So yeah, talk to you. What are your thoughts on this? I know you're getting into crazy territory, but
I did study the prologue though, so
Still seems really, really unlikely, like you said, but it could be. I guess I do see a slight resemblance. Um, no, I don't buy it, honestly.
Wait,
I
Mhm.
mean,
what
they
if
don't
he?
even have like the hair color the same. Granted, they don't
that's
for like Elrond
that's John Howe next to him, by the way.
to the left.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. Wait, but what
Mhm.
if he goes to Numenor? All of this happens in a few episodes, and he goes to Numenor, and then all of this revolutionary stuff happens in Numenor, and then he goes back to Middle Earth with Galadriel, and then he becomes some king, and then
Or
he gets
maybe, the Numenorians give him some land for doing
Fiefdom, yeah.
so well. Yeah. Or thank you for telling us about this threat. Like become like Lord of the Southlands or something like that. So yeah, I think that could easily be a possibility. Yeah.
I don't
Again.
know because the Kingsmen were kind of like racist against all the men of Middle Earth. I think they'd still like just view them as an
Remember, this is
inferior.
time compression, so maybe the Kingsmen aren't.
True.
See, that's the problem. It's really hard to put together because still we don't have the War of the Elves and Sauron, where the Numenors are meant to be good. So maybe there is still not as a fine line between the Kingsmen and faithful. Yeah, but yeah, it does
Agree, yeah.
make sense. Yeah, but I think Carl, could you put up the first comment by Radagast the Fool? Because this does make me laugh, but at the same time, it is getting us onto a topic that we haven't talked about yet, which is Radagast the Fool, also a great name, said he is a modern Hollywood beta male character and will certainly fall in love with Galadriel. She is too busy saving the world and leading the armies and cannot give back her love to him. I guess my man Teleporno is non-existing in the Amazon lore. So,
Well,
what
it
is
could be kind of
everyone's?
like, the general of Daenerys Targaryen. He had a massive crush on her, didn't he? Like, he loved her. It could be like that. He could be her general. Just
Yeah, yeah,
The
could.
thing is, though, Galadriel is already looking a little bit romantic with Elrond, which really doesn't make sense. That's a joke,
no.
by the way, but sh- she's holding hands with him a little bit romantically. But there's also Celebrimbor and Celeborn, her like actual husband, who obviously liked her a lot. They were
And her
married.
daughter
Um,
that she
yeah,
should have at some
I'm
point
talking
during the
like
series.
romantic love too. Yeah, but oh yeah, if you're talking about like with Celeborn, then
Yes.
yeah. Um,
Family.
so I think adding in another love interest is just kind of a dumb idea, especially when you have so many in the books that like actually make sense. Just throwing in another one in there for no reason would definitely make people mad, but you know,
Sorry, just as a
Amazon is
side.
probably
Yeah.
okay with that.
So it's an
That's
opening
never
the
gonna
hid-
happen. Don't scare people. Like like Elrond, Galadriel. That's never gonna happen. Halbrand
Oh,
might
It
have a
could,
crush
though.
on her.
It could.
She's no. Don't say that. That's terrible. You can't say that.
But I think the next one, I think talking about Celeborn might not being in the show, because I think an interesting thing that does raise of Galadriel as well. Then what would happen with Celebrian? Then if Celebrian's going to be a child, then how in a few seasons, because of time compression, are you going to marry Elrond? Unless it's not looking a bit, because maybe
Celeborn's just
the
gonna be useless stay-at-home dad, which, I mean, hey, it's not that far from the books. He was a little bit useless.
yeah, and
Hey,
I think
He's very
should we
thin
move on to the one
though.
by Josh now? I think this continues the love thing that we're getting on here. Okay. High chance that he's a hurting man who's lost much, done something he's ashamed of, something I really like, or haunted by, and then he ultimately accepts a ring of power to gain the authority and power to gain his convoluted ends, one of the Nazgul ultimately. I really like this one, in fact.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
yeah. Thoughts?
I will say one thing. I think a lot of us are kind of like, because
I know
in
if talk to you, you're probably going to be saying no to this one. But
Yeah.
Ken,
in the still photograph, he comes off very intense.
looks like Ken's mic.
oh, we can hear him. It's just you that can't hear him. We can hear him.
I can't.
Who doesn't hear me?
Fellowship doesn't hear you.
Okay, that's not a problem at all.
But you can keep talking, and then
Tell me when he's done. Tell me when he's
Yes.
done.
Yeah, I think the audience can still hear you. So
Good. That's the important thing. Anyway, I think the picture of him is a bit misleading because it comes across very intense, but it's a still photograph. On the page, we have auditions of his, we have a character description. He's quite funny. So I wouldn't know if a character that's partially comedic is good, basis for a ring wraith or certainly for Sauron. He's funny. You know?
where have you seen that he's funny? I must have missed this. Sorry.
I've actually like shared a piece from a very funny little exchange from their audition. I even suggested that we like stage it because it is quite funny. All the tweets.
Oh, the actor is funny, not the character.
Oh no, the character is funny.
Oh.
The character description of his Eric is a charismatic male actor, dramatic leading role with comedic elements. And the scenes between him and Galadriel, they're basically scenes when they're on the boat or something, and then they're funny.
Okay, so anybody want to comment about what Ken said, or should we move on? Because I of course couldn't hear.
Disconnect and reconnect. I'll see if it helps.
Okay, I'm guessing no. So the next thing then is I think before we get into the Fellowship of Phantom, my Fellowship's crazy theory, I think the next one is that I think it's here's another Anatar, the one by Anatar. He says, I think, which is quite funny, I think he's the Witch King. He is running from his past and carries this object. First I'm talking about the object now. Is carrying this object that looks magical to me, and if he is from a noble family, he is a prime candidate for one of the 9. And so yeah, I think even this object that he's holding in that still maybe means has some significance, and it also looks like Ken is back as well, which is good. So yeah, and okay, talk to you. Let's try this. I know you don't think it's Witch King, but in what scenario, like for example, in this one, could it be him?
that's really hard to say. I guess if he is a king of a really, really prominent kingdom in Middle Earth, whether that be one from the canon or otherwise, That's probably the only scenario in which I think it makes sense for him to get a ring. But at the same time, there's no way he's a king unless he's basically Aragorn. Um, like they're doing the same kind of Return of the King sort of thing
Yeah.
there. But that doesn't seem likely that he is a king just overall because he would be going away from his kingdom to Numenor, and that just doesn't really make sense.
Mhm.
So I
And
just don't think he's a Nazgul at all. But I guess if he's the son of a dying king or something like that, or a really high up noble who's about to be the king, then maybe it makes sense. But still, it just seems like Sauron would want to give a ring to someone who's a little bit more
Mhm.
important than just this guy.
Yeah. And just chiming in quickly, I think so of course for the next 10 seconds, this is a spoiler thing. I think so when in our report that we released, of course it says hidden from his past, he's running from his past, wherever that might be. So of course in the report back then we said he's apparently a leader of men. So what I'm thinking is that's probably that's not meant to be out there. So I think once we're in Numenor, we do realize that he was a leader of men in Middle Earth. So I think that's how that fits in with that. And of course, as of right now, we're still meant to be technically trying to find out, what his past is. Um, I think there was one final one. You could put that one up. I think it hidden noble plus apron plus leader of men in Middle Earth, another witch king one, and Nazgul. But he mentions maybe that just a face to represent how men in Middle Earth feel at the time. Do you think that's an interesting interpretation of that? Maybe the men in Middle Earth are getting angry, and Halbrand is the face of this, of their message. What do you guys think? It's a different interpretation of this so far, to be fair. Kyle, you also might as well take Penguin's spot for the last, 10-ish minutes. What are your thoughts on this?
Sorry,
Ken was talking again.
Yeah, Hen, go ahead there.
Yeah, I was just saying we have quite a few human characters anyway, so he could be. But we have other characters that also serve that function, so we'll see.
Okay, I can hear him now. Thank God.
Perfect.
Sorry, Ken, I couldn't hear you for a few minutes.
That's okay. That's okay.
He also does look quite a lot like Isildur in the poster. He looks dressed pretty similarly. So I wonder if here he's in some Numenorian smith's home or something like that.
I think
That'd be
so.
interesting. Because you also see like the golden armor in the background, which, well, to be fair, that actually looks a little bit like the armor the elves were wearing. So maybe he's in Eregion in Celebrimbor's house.
No, that to me looks Numenor.
Stretch though.
I think apparently we
helmet
have,
same shape as in the teaser. So,
but I think Varkin has just reminded us that we have to do our mid-commercial midway. So thanks to Raid Shadow Legends and NordVPN, use the code Nord of the Rings, as Troy Hillman put in the chat. Of course we're not. Actually, yeah. Actually, that is a joke. We're not sponsored. Before YouTube gets angry. But I think the thing that I want to do now is chat. Are you ready for the Fellowship crazy theory? So my personal crazy theory. So Kyle, you know what time this is as well. So firstly, go to the picture of the person of your artwork. In fact, yeah, Kyle's excellent artwork. Can also stop typing. So that you have to tell off a kids as a teacher. Okay, so Kyle, is it up?
Yeah. It's up.
Okay, so the Fellowship crazy theory. This is not a leak. This is not rumor. I know it's really hard to do this, and not at the same time people automatically think it's fact. But see, this is not without really knowing anything. But so we released a few months ago that from what we think is that Sauron The only reporting we have of him thus far is that Sauron is said to be on the Human Village sets, which is based in Middle-earth. His actor was on these sets for many months. Oh yeah, Carl, keep the descriptions up now. Sauron on these sets is said to be apparently a mysterious, hooded, robed, yet menacing figure. If it is Sauron, this character is said to be very intimidating. So yeah, we have Adar, we have Halbrand, and of course we have Meteor Man. But at the same time, a lot of things people have forgotten about is that we still have this hooded figure on the set who we knew that the Sauron costume designer was actually on the Human Village sets. That's why we were able to put two and two together. So what my theory is that of course we hear that this person's on the Human Village sets maybe after May Halbrand comes back from Numenor and is in fact Sauron, and then the person who's robed, and that's why we don't see his face at all. Um, I think, and that's also adds on to maybe he is, and that's why he's the person we don't know his past really. And because remember, we released that how independently that Halbrand is a leader of men, and that's the thing that we're meant to find out. Then if he is the leader of men, maybe this is so he is technically telling the truth, technically lying. No, this hood, yeah, I think people have gone confused. Is that this hooded figure is not Adar. This is someone else, as opposed to Adar. Was on the scene sets as Adar, and looks like Adar was potentially, um, being to like acting towards this hooded robe figure. So my reason is theory is that the reason he's hooded and robed on this set is that we're not meant to know, maybe until the big final reveal, that he is Halbrand is under the hood all along. And then, yep, sound ridiculous, could be batshit crazy, but again, okay, people might be confused. I know it's quite confusing, so I'll go through one more time. So, we released that there is a hooded and robed figure on the Human Village sets, which of course is now the Bronwyn sets. And then, said we have this hooded robed figure. Then, in Middle Earth, we have then of course going to Numenor, we have Halbrand. We don't know who this person is. We don't know his past. He said in the Vanity Fair article he has an interesting past. Then later on in the series, we think that Halbrand is actually leader of men. Now, coincidentally, we also have another leader of men at a village, hooded, robed, not revealing his face. And then I think putting all of this, culminating this all together, it reveals that maybe the big thing is, oh yeah, Halbrand is Sauron and was able to Azrael go to Numenor, do that, cause the Numenorians to come to Middle Earth, this and that. Some sort of master plan that we don't know yet. And I'm sure probably every single person probably in this panel is gonna be like, Fellowship, you're probably going crazy. And I might be, but I still want to be interesting to hear people's opinions on that. Yeah, that Charlie Vickers is the person under that hood, and then he's revealed to be Sauron. La di da di da. Sauron's not in season one. Yes, he is technically at the end. And yeah, put me in the writers room. Anyway, you wanna? I
I like
think I've
it.
blown some minds in chat, but
It's an
yeah.
interesting twist for sure. Yes.
Killer Butt
Uh,
coming.
no, I mean, I don't want him to be Sauron because it doesn't really make sense. But at the same time, if they do it that way, at least somehow it will make a little more sense because then that would be sort of, I don't know, a prequel of him. I don't know. But it works and it doesn't work, but it is a good theory of how they would do it
Thank you. And now
if
to
it was.
Tolkien, I'm sure I'm going to get absolutely crapped on.
I think it's kind of a stretch, and man, Amazon's gonna be really sad if you are right though and gets it from the onset, because that would be kind of like a big last minute reveal sort of thing. I could see it happening. It kind of reminds me of the movie Now. I think it's Now You See Me. There's a couple of those out actually. They might be making a third soon. but I don't see that happening. It just seems very,
Mhm.
very unlikely.
Yeah, and I think the problem with that is that if people like saying in chat right now, it's like I am your father from Star Wars. People find out that it's Halbrand all along, and that's meant to be the thing. Then of course the Numenorians will now, and maybe the Numenorians still don't know who it is,
Yeah.
but it
And
is
that'd be
of
something
course
which,
the viewers will know. Yeah.
yeah,
Then
yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Then maybe going into season 2, we now know that this Halbrand figure is Sauron. Then he changes and then goes to Eregion and begins that, and we all know it's Anatar, but they don't know it's Anatar. So yeah, okay.
Hello?
I think you just muted. I don't know if you
Yes,
just.
Fellowship,
Oh
you
no,
are muted.
how long? Okay, how much should I miss?
Like a minute.
Pretty
And a
much.
solid minute.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. So what was the last thing you heard me say?
Am I
Wait a
supposed to remember
second.
that?
He said, wait a second.
Oh damn.
He waited a
Okay.
little bit more than that. Was
Okay, yeah,
funny.
yeah. Okay, the thing that I was trying to say was that maybe the thing is that at the end of season 1, yeah, Halbrand is Charlie Vickers, but the Numenorians don't know that Halbrand is Sauron, but then the viewers do. Then into season 2, when the Forging of the Rings is going to begin, we have Halbrand now go to, and then of course the problem is that is Halbrand, he's a man now, his elf maybe changes form, so we now know Halbrand is Sauron, he changes form and goes to Eregion as this Anatar person, and that's how it interlinks between the 2 seasons. And of course, if someone did mention in chat earlier, this is like, hello Varlock, hope you're doing well too, this is like a I am your father moment from Star Wars. Yeah, and
I
that's
am your
basically it.
mother.
Yeah.
Wait, have you guys read the leaked the audition tapes? Have you read the
They're
one?
funny.
The conversation between Arik and the woman, who's clearly then
Yeah,
probably
they're
Galadriel.
Halbrand.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's funny.
Also, Rukia's banker. Yeah, me and you really. Okay. So yeah. Oh yeah. Is it this? Any idea where the soldiers were from? One. Is it that script?
The one I posted, the funny one, the
Okay.
funny
Why? Okay. I
those
think.
lines.
Wait. You want us to act it out?
I mean, we could. It's funny.
Okay. Fine then. Well, Nikki, I wonder who you're gonna have to be.
Oh wait,
Hello.
am I gonna be Arik? I will be Arik. That's fine.
You're gonna be. Okay.
Ken, you
I'll
can
be
be the
Galadriel.
woman. No.
Okay. No, actually, yeah. Ken, you can be Galadriel. Gonna be Galadriel.
Sure, I'll try. No.
All right,
Okay.
I'm
Fine.
ready. Bring it on.
Okay.
Let's
I'll
go.
be glad. I'll be glad you. Okay. So go
All
on.
right.
Go on, Ham.
Oh boy.
Wait, which
Go
one are
on.
we?
I'm gonna repost this on my YouTube channel, by the
Is
way.
it the second scene that we're reading, not the first one? Because I have
Oh
two.
no, send in
Or
chat.
a
Send in
couple, yeah.
chat.
It's in the
Send in
second
chat and
scene,
then
though.
can someone send a
Send it
link
on
and then you
chat.
will act it out.
Nice.
Oh my goodness!
you
I
finish?
will copy and paste. Hold on.
Yeah, copy and paste. Yeah. Yeah.
Let me see.
And
All
put it in
right,
chat again.
All right, I'll put
Yeah,
it in
what we're
general.
getting up. So yeah, this is a leaked scene between Galadriel and Halbrand.
There's two of
Um,
them. You can pick which one you want to do. Wait.
The second one is
Oh.
funnier.
All right, we'll do the second one.
all right.
I'll just
Both
remove
good.
the first
Oh,
scene.
I've just seen the viewership go up by about 10 in the last like 10 seconds.
There you
I think
go.
after
There it
hearing
is.
Okay, okay.
There it is.
Oh my god. Okay.
All right, let's do this. Are you ready? Do you want to read the beginning first?
Okay. Okay, who wants to be narrator? You read the first part.
Ken, you can do it.
Ken, go on, be narrator.
Narrating.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he
Last
works
but
better
not
as Galadriel, but
Last but not least, we have Eric. Halbrand. Halbrand seems more like an anti-hero type with a bit of Tom Hiddleston's Loki charisma, all that of David Tennant in Good Omens. Eric seems like a survivor, a cold pragmatist who would sacrifice his friends to save his skin. And there was a video, obviously, so watch the video here and see.
Any idea where those soldiers were from?
There are many places in this world, stranger, that you can imagine, older than you've ever visited.
You ever simply just say no?
Wherever they are from, I feel we have not journeyed far enough to ensure they don't catch up.
They are on horses, we are on foot. No matter where we journey, they will catch up.
Then we shall not find safety until we reach the castle.
Well, that depends on which castle it is. Certainly my safety does.
Mine isn't guaranteed either.
Is that so? Voluntarily separated from her squadron? Didn't take you for a deserter.
I had work to attend to.
Oh, sure, very important business.
You hate Farlanders too, then?
That wasn't Farlanders who threw me out of my home, left me with nothing.
Do you wish to reclaim your homeland?
Well, I reckon I'm short an army.
Shall you simply start over?
Look, you didn't cause my suffering, nor can you fix it, no matter how strong your will or pride.
Okay, I'm never doing that again.
You did fantastic. I loved it. I just
That
wish I
is
could have
going on
seen
my
your
YouTube
face, man.
channel. I'm
Was
reposting
great.
that as soon as we're done. But good job.
Let's. Yes, yes.
Uh,
Now that is our official
Wonderful.
application for roles in this show. Yes.
Amazon, if Morphy Clark and Halbrand have to drop out for some reason, just
Yeah.
put me and Nikki in there.
Yeah. Then the Fellowship plays Galadriel, and then I'll play
yeah.
Halbrand. Yeah, we do the gender swap.
Yeah, I'd make an awesome Galadriel.
You
Yeah.
would.
You would.
I look like it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know
Okay.
you've got that nice golden hair.
Oh yes.
Yeah. But yeah, jokes aside, yeah, was an actual script that they've used in audition processes, and again, it reaffirms the fact that we don't know where Halbrand is from. Oh my god, people said they have zero hopes for the show now after me and you've done that. Oh no, don't think you've done that for Amazon.
Why? It was
but,
funny.
Yeah, but
Those
We
views-
should do
I-
more. Let's go. We
I
should
mean,
make like
we
a show
should.
where we just act it
Yeah.
all out.
Yeah,
That would be
sure.
fun.
But
We'll get
it's funny.
wigs. I have ears. We can put them on. You know.
at the premiere, if Amazon ever decide to invite us to a premiere, we'll do.
You know,
we'll do it on the
I'm
red carpet.
ready to watch the premiere with you guys. I have my first brand, like my first shirt that
Oh,
I've
yeah.
made. I'm Team Elf right here.
Put it in the live chat so people can go and find out.
Fellowship, you better, keep me in your suitcase and bring me into the premiere if you get invited. Because I don't think I'm getting invited, but I want to
Oh.
go.
Yeah,
Hey,
I never
everybody's
thought-
getting invited.
We'll get invited to the premiere, of course. Doubt it. But I think
I think me
Um,
and Penguin are gonna be left out.
No, they want people of integrity on this sort of journey
from the Super
Mission.
Fans video.
quest.
Yeah.
Yeah, mission.
And
Excellent.
just the super fans video. I feel kind of.
Mhm. Yeah, and Nikki, I saw that Pippin line there as well. So yeah,
Yes,
that
you
hasn't gone
did.
unnoticed. So
No,
I think
no.
the final thing to talk about is what happens if Halbrand is just a normal person. I think that's what we've talked about. Yeah, how does that develop his story then? If he's just
Oh,
literally
and
some
someone
random...
said he might just die in the first episode. I mean, who knows?
Mhm. Oh yeah, he could.
What happens if he's just a normal person? I don't know.
just a
Maybe
normal
he's
person.
just. There are supporting actors, that aren't important to the story that are just there.
Yeah.
So it could
Someone
happen.
said, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Really, podcast I was on recently as well. Yeah, make sure to check it out with them. And I think a final thing, we're gonna pin chat. So I wanted to end on this. So it's been a few weeks now since the trailer, the teaser trailer, whatever it was, 48 seconds, and of course, in the first few weeks, we're going to be, excited, full of adrenaline. Now we're getting the first final thing from Amazon in a while. We've had a month-ish to process this now. I think, chat, out of 10, honestly, for 48 seconds, do you think it was a good teaser? Do you think it was, Amazon chose the right scenes? Did it hype stuff up? I think removing the side now that okay, it's been a while now. Henba, calm down, right? Henba, calm down. Are we calm down now? It's been a month since the trailer.
Calm
Yeah.
down.
Yep.
Were we ever crazy? I mean,
Yeah, that is the thing. Were we ever crazy for that trailer?
I feel like I didn't get enough. I wanted
Yeah.
more. Like, it's not enough
Or a lot more.
information. And they're giving away so little that it's easy to turn it into a bad thing and it's easy to
Yeah.
pass judgments, which is the scary thing because it's an angry world there at the moment. So it's a little bit like, I just wanted to see more.
For
of
me,
You know who
the
was going
world.
crazy though? The super fans. They loved it.
Well,
Superfans.
I loved it
Nothing
too, and
against
I was grateful, but I just wanted to see more of it.
I think
As
for
far
me,
as I can see, Reddit and YouTube both hated it.
Yeah.
yeah,
With
but
a
I'm sure
passion,
YouTube's
with
a
a
lot of copy
burning
and
passion.
pasted things.
Honestly,
but,
it was a lot better than I expected. Honestly, I would be liking Amazon a lot better right now if they just like never posted the super fans thing, any of that. If they just left that out, I would like them a lot more now.
yeah,
But
and I
that was
think you
just
could.
a huge mistake.
I think we could tell.
Wait, hold on.
and
What is the super fans thing? I
Never
thought you
mind,
meant
yeah.
like the general super
No,
fans.
no. No, it's
What
just a
is this?
video where Amazon chose the biggest enthusiasts in the world.
Oh, that thing. Is that called the super fans thing? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
No,
it
it's
was like
basic.
staged, and they invited people who like didn't have any connection to the show or Lord of the Rings. They were influencers. Some of them pretty small, which I'm a small creator. I don't
Yeah.
have anything against
Also,
that.
Sparrow
they didn't-
Egg. Yeah, sorry.
I don't
They didn't have
understand. Why are
anything to
they
do with
super
the
fans
show.
though? We're the super fans.
Exactly,
Like,
exactly. Yeah, they should invite
Yeah,
us five.
that's why
Us
everyone's
five.
so angry.
You know,
Plus,
more
to
people
be
would have watched
fair,
it.
they were also just chosen because they were
Yeah.
like minorities, which I'm not pulling that out of nowhere. They kind of did
Oh, yeah.
say that they're like representing the minorities that are going to be in the show or something like that. So that also kind of made
Also,
people angry, which is
I think
fair.
they call themselves the Fellowship of Influencers.
oh
Mhm.
wow.
No, they're ripping
Okay.
us off. Fellowship,
Yeah.
trademark, Fellowship of Fans,
Rude.
and
Our
sue.
trademark Fellowship of
Stealing
Fans.
our
If they
brand.
okay, but
Offensive.
I think something interesting, Sawn. I think it's a really good point. I think this is where Amazon may have, not slipped up, but like I think the big problem for me was it did not tease anything except from who this meteor person is that people already knew about. It didn't I think Penguin made this really good point. It doesn't tease anything going forward.
I kind of feel like it did tease a little bit of this is going to be another epic Hobbit adventure because you see the little Hobbit and it seems like it's her voice saying, I've always wondered what else is out there. And it's just like,
Mm.
okay, sure.
You just see
But
some
Just
she's
one of
not
the things.
important to this story. Like,
Yes.
right.
Oh my
That's
god.
one of the things I least like about it, which is okay, you have hobbits, we get it. But you also have the wide-eyed young person who's wondering what's outside the cave. I mean, okay.
Yeah, and also someone said Amazon won't invite you until they get that Apple prop back. I'm thinking maybe should we put the Apple prop on screen one time? I'm joking. No,
Wait,
Yeah,
you
but
don't actually have it, do you?
A little bit more.
No.
no comment. Okay.
No.
No,
If not, I
um,
mean, you could ask for it. Like, come on, how much are they going to
Yeah.
really charge for an Apple? Like $20? I'd pay.
mhm,
I want props too. Aw.
We
yeah.
can start like
Of course,
peddling them out to the fans.
It's
Make some
fruit,
serious
people.
cash.
it's literally just literally. But no, I think the thing was literally. So we had this picture of an Apple prop for months. We were like, why someone sent us an Apple? What has got to do with anything? It's literally just a crappy prop. Then you find out it's literally the biggest thing for them is of course Meteor Man. He's holding an apple. That's like, oh, okay, I understand now.
It's a
Okay, this is
scale
actually
prop,
probably
yeah.
a quite a big prop. I have no clue that's who sent it and how they got it, but oh well. Maybe if that apple, is at the big decisive moment of season 1, imagine how much you could sell it for. That'd
Yeah,
be interesting.
that would be pretty
Yeah.
interesting.
And
How
imagine
much
like
we can sell it for, right,
oh
Fellowship?
yeah,
Yes.
I
you'll
mean,
all get a
eventually
part.
you're gonna have to pay us for all the hard work we're doing here.
Yeah.
Hello.
What? You guys get paid, right? Yeah.
No, we were all promised lead roles in the show. That's what it
Oh,
was.
yeah.
You
My
told
bad.
me. You told me I was gonna play a lead elf if I did this.
Yeah, you're. Look what we did a few minutes ago.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
that's
Oh,
what we
that's
got.
right. I already did play lead up. Damn it. Okay, well,
Yeah.
fair enough then.
You were
That's right.
Halbrand, next to
Uh,
lead elf.
oh yeah.
Yes, Penguin was still going without you. So I think people do you want to talk about now. I think if you want to take some questions from the comments, live chat, feel free to do that. Before, did we eat the prop? It's a plastic apple. I think people aren't realizing. If it was like a normal apple, it would have,
Well, you can still eat
It would
it.
have brought it in the mail, but I mean, you can still melt it and eat it, but I don't think it would be very healthy.
Yeah, and I
I
think
mean,
Yeah,
think about all
that's
the YouTube views you'd get, though. I mean, that's worth it.
no, I hope.
the next cinnamon cup, cinnamon challenge.
I literally hope for example,
Better
I
than
don't
Tide
know,
Pod.
Adar like throws an apple, some like Howman or something, or like Meteor, like Meteor Man, like they throw an apple and then one of them dies, and the stonks of that apple goes up. Think about it; it's a big thing of season 1 that someone got killed by that apple. We have it.
Yeah.
Maybe I
Stonks
beat them
indeed.
to the punch.
Someone said nice save fellowship. I don't know what I've done, but maybe it's incidental. But
I think it was the elf thing.
someone said you guys are getting paid. Um,
I
yeah,
wish we were, man. I wish we
yeah,
were.
wish you were. Yeah,
Yeah, that
wish you were.
would be nice.
It would be.
All it takes is a
If
little bit of
we
blackmail
were, then we'd
fellowship,
all
and
be rich by now.
Yeah.
Honestly, we've
Instead
been
of
doing this for a while.
doing roleplay of fake of audition scripts instead. But I
Mm.
think another thing people said is when are we going to expect the next teaser? And despite Amazon not having a marketing properly last year, having a coherent marketing plan, they still released something on Tolkien Reading Day, March 25th, and that's coming up in about 21 days. So the thing
Yeah.
here is maybe we might not get a trailer again, but of course the big thing admitted from the Vanity Fair pictures was Numenor. Maybe on the 25th we could get some
Numenor
Numenor
stuff,
pictures, Numenor stuff.
I think so.
like the
Yes.
last 2 Tolkien reading days, they have released stuff. Granted, one time I believe it was just like a clapperboard in the sand, and the other time it was just a little graphic art saying "Stay safe," basically, because it was.
Yeah, but
In,
now
I
they
think
have
that
to
was
up their
2020.
game.
Yeah, now it's the PR cycle. It started, so they're probably going to release something fairly substantial, at least.
But they release. You know how we talked about the potential of them having more than one article? Could it be another article that has more pictures
I
of
think
more
so,
of the
yes.
lead cast?
I think
Yeah.
they'll fill up.
Yeah.
They've done elves more or less, and a bit of
Yeah.
dwarves. Then
Or
next time
maybe
they'll do Numenor.
I think it makes sense because it is segmented. Apparently I said foreplay instead of roleplay. Yeah, I meant roleplay. We weren't doing. Yeah, that wouldn't be on this channel for that.
What is going on today?
No, I think I've said foreplay by accident. Yeah, roleplay. And but I think the main thing is March 25th. I think for the last few years we have gotten stuff, even if it's a minor quote. And I think the big shame was that on, of course, Tolkien's birthday. This is also the final thing I wanted to get onto. So of course, Tolkien's birthday, we did nothing, no tweet for that, and of course, recently I think it was on the 28th, Priscilla Tolkien passed away, the last living child of the professor. And I think I've been speaking to some people at the Tolkien Society, like Sean Gunner, part of the Tolkien Society as well. I think she was still a part of that. I know Christopher Tolkien wasn't, but
She was.
yeah, Christopher Tolkien wasn't. She was, exactly. She, of course, it goes under, I think under the radar how much work she did. She did for Tolkien's legacy as well, because recently a lot of people coming out with stories around how Priscilla Tolkien did this, did that, replied to them, was at an event, especially around the 2000s. So really, sad. And maybe hope maybe Amazon would have, maybe said at least something about it. But of course, maybe if that's not their decision, it is. But yeah, it's of course really sad news. Rest in peace, Tan. I'm sure I am. This is on behalf of everyone here as well. I'm sure we all share the same sentiment around that. Unless anybody wants to add anything else. No, yep, okay then. And I think the final thing is what we're going to be releasing on the second day show this Sunday. So we're going to have a lot of interesting orc leaks. So yep, look forward to that. And we're gonna have people from Watch Party, Lord of the Rings. I think they do the podcast. Make sure to check them out. And yeah, it's someone. Yes, Steve decided to say the Tolkien family all together again. Rest in peace, indeed. Also, if people have questions, any questions you want to throw at us, make sure to try to do any of them. If not, we'll wrap up in a minute now. So yeah, I'd love if they release photos of various key locations. Do you think that's a possibility? You know, releasing key location
I think
pictures
in
like
a trailer, because those would be VFX dependent, and you don't put those kinds of pictures in what Nikki said, like a Vogue type thing. Those tend to be in camera stuff. Certainly
Not to
everything we
mention,
got from
just
Variety
like
was.
Fellowship, you're a YouTuber. You see people put faces and stuff in thumbnails all the time because that attracts attention much more than just like some random, even interesting building. So they're probably going to do
yeah,
a character or something like that. I mean, I guess they could
yeah,
do a location. It just seems a lot less likely, especially if that's
mhm,
something
yeah,
being released by itself.
They did it
yeah,
early on, of course, with Valinor, but that was in a completely different stage in the thing.
And to be
mhm.
fair,
Now I
they did
don't
have a
think.
character in it.
Yeah,
Granted,
Do
not
but
a
you
face.
do you guys sometimes wish that we can just go back to that Valinor period where it just
there's
dropped that
something
day?
nice about that, yeah, because
Yeah,
all
it
the
was.
options are
It
still
was
open.
preferable to
People don't
this,
know,
for sure.
but I had to literally like I think not like text Nikki, call Nikki, like what's going on? I've just come home. And I think yeah, I think it was all crazy. Amazon had dropped this, and yeah, she hopped on. So yeah, thanks for that. And people
It was
asking
last
about
minute.
and for the Orcs as well. I think people who can confirm here, I think we released it before, yeah. Amazon, I think Member K released it himself that yeah, they go practical effects. There are a lot of practical effect orcs. There is a lot of stuff done practically. Even saw that battle which had Finrod in it. There is, I think, Amazon, and of course, we'll of course go back and forth on CGI and the Hobbit, this and that. But I think overall, people, it seems like they like stuff done practically, and Amazon are
Yeah,
going that
because we
way.
turned it into a religion, really.
Yeah. I
But yeah,
think Star
sure.
Wars helped, not I think exacerbated that quite a bit.
Yeah, but
But
look, people don't like the recent Star Wars, and they are done very
we
practically.
didn't know the episode is. I don't know. Episode 1 is the one big flashback. No, no.
Well, they really liked Mandalorian. So, and that was back, like, that was taken quite far back when it comes to CGI.
Yeah, I think yeah. For Book of Boba Fett, I know I'm not that into Star Wars, anyways, but I've watched some of that
That
and
was
like
the
some of the
humor,
set.
though. Like, the Book of Boba Fett, the problem with that wasn't that there was no CGI or CGI. It was the fact that the humor, it seemed very cheesy to me, which is not really Star Wars. It felt like they were trying to draw it in the direction of Marvel, who has that cheesy sense of humor, but it works
Boo
there. It
Marvel.
doesn't work with Star Wars.
Yeah, do
Uh,
chase Boo
Didn't
Marvel.
watch either.
Yeah, and someone said, "Do you guys think Galadriel will reference the battle between Finrod and Sauron, the Song of
I think
Power?"
so, yes.
The rap battle. And I think an interesting thing here is that remember on the end of year show we had that massive, of course we couldn't reveal it. We did release some of it on our Discord, but we had this massive like that of course another prop someone stolen from set again. Do not condole the stealing or stuff from set. But no, Amazon are probably like counting their stocks after each all these videos now and how much things they've lost. But it's
Can't
massive
lose a
like
single apple,
board.
right?
Yeah, and I think yes, it's board. It has like a battle in it. It has a Balrog in it. It has orcs fighting on it. It has like these elven human soldiers fighting, and I think maybe that is going to be something potentially of significance and could be a recall um back to that. And so yeah, so, uh, I think that is just about it. Then I don't think I think people are talking about the rap battle. So I think yeah, it's It's been a really fun show. Of course, Penguin has had to leave halfway. But yeah, he was on again. It's the first time I think. Yeah, I did check. It's been July. Was the last time we'd all been together like this. So it's it's been like a little reunion of some sorts as well. So yeah, pleasure
Yeah.
to have everyone being able to do this as usual. Thank you, Ken.
It's always, like I said, it's always fun, especially with the original team. So
Yeah. Also, part of that is talking to you. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, it's been great being on for this past hour or whatever. Learned a little bit that I didn't know previously, and it was great hearing y'all's opinions. Viewers, you can find my YouTube channel in the description. I
Oh yeah.
cover mostly the Rings of Power show. Got a video about the superfans coming soon, which is quite a rant. So
Yeah, I think his channels, is linked in the description, and also another person we have a link in the description is the lovely Nikki. Thank you.
Thank you. I also want to say thank you to Kyle, who I don't think anyone can hear but us. So he's the voice from above. Oh, they can hear him this time.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
nice.
think.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I still want to
Thank
thank
you,
Kyle
Amy.
for all of the wizardry that he's doing. And I also want to say I never do this. I don't really mention my socials that much because I feel like they're already there. My name. But I am 300 people away from 10,000 followers on Instagram. So if anyone wants to follow me, so maybe I can hit that target at some point soon. That would be awesome. Thank you so much. It's the same as my name here. So Miss
Yeah.
Bang it.
Yeah,
Yes.
your Twitter's in the description, so I'll swap that out for next time. So yeah, that's all
Yeah.
good. And
Thank you.
also, shout out to chat. I think Troy Hillman has been hilarious in the chat today. Thank you for that. Thank you to Rakai's Bankai being really
and
fun. Thank
remembering
you,
our
Steve
fallen,
Sadler.
the
Yeah, Penguin. Can't forget
avian.
about Penguin. Yeah, Anika Temeria, thank you. Janelle. Yeah, sorry if we haven't mentioned you. Just going through chat now, but thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, and we'll see you next Friday. But Kyle and the gang will be seeing you on the second day show this Sunday. Goodbye.